Yes, this thing is just breaking out just now. You get late Osinachi, late Osinachi. You know, say that gospel singer make by some years back. Make I the show now. Maybe say I the show now for the background now. Now this woman, so this woman. According to the news just coming out right now for Abuja. They say late gospel singer Osinachi husband, the husband to Osinachi has been sentenced to death by hanging. That is the news just coming out. According to the news, Justice Wonsu AMA of a federal FCT High Court, Wuse Zone 2 in Abuja, April 28, sentenced the husband of late gospel singer Osinachi Peter Owanchukwu to death by hanging. This was after the court found Owanchukwu guilty of culpable of homicide, resulting in the death of the celebrated singer in April 8, 2022. You know, say April 8, 2022, our great gospel singer Osinachi kpai, and people come dey accuse the husband say na the husband na kpai the woman. So now news don come out. So while delivering this judgment, Justice Wonsu heard that the prosecutor had proven the body of proof placed on it by law and subsequently find the defendant guilty. The defendant na be Osinachi husband. You understand? So according to more news, Owanchukwu first was arraigned in June 3, 2022 by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation on behalf of the federal government on the 23 count charges. 23 count charges. Now they take file against Owanchukwu, which is the husband to Osinachi. The charge was on culpable homicide punishable with death, criminal intimidation, cruelty to children, criminal intimidation of children, spousal battery, and among others. Those are the charges. The prosecution team presented 17 witnesses, including 2 children of the late Osinachi, who testified as fourth and fifth prosecution witness, PW4 and PW4 respectively. 2 witnesses, Osinachi 2 children. 2 of them are witness to show say wetin their party do their man, a witness for court. And the defendant testified for the defense and further call 4 other witnesses and tender 4 exhibits in his defense. They call after they don bring 2 witnesses, which is Osinachi 2 children. Another 4 people come as witness again to show say they did them maybe say this man dey maltreat that woman, Osinachi. Similarly, the prosecution counsel Mrs. Aderonke Imala urged the court to give force to the law as stipulated. Delivering his judgment, the presiding judge thereafter sentenced Owanchukwu to death by hanging in court 1, while he was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment each on every count charges. In that charges, may they count from 1 to 18. He was sentenced to 2 years imprisonment in every count charges. So the court sentenced the defendant for 6 months imprisonment in count 10, 3 years imprisonment in count 11, while he was fined the sum of 500,000 and 200 respectively in court 6 and court 7 respectively. You see, but one of the count charges, he was sentenced to death by hanging. You understand? So now, according to the court, the judgment, from 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 12, 18, he will be sentenced to 2 years imprisonment. You understand? Why count 11? He was fined 200,000 and 500,000 respectively. Count 6 and 7, he was also fined 200,000 and 500,000. Why count 6? He was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. So in every charges may they give am, the sentence are with difference. Some he will go 2 years imprisonment, some he will pay 500,000, some he will pay 200,000, some he will go 3 years imprisonment. So one of the charges which is battering. So he was found guilty and sentenced to death by hanging. So that's the news just coming out. And I think Nigeria was waiting for this news for the past 2 or 3 years now, because the death of this woman sparked a lot of reaction in the Nigerian populace. So right now, the court had found Nwachukwu, the husband of Osinachi, guilty as charged. So he will be sentenced to death by Anki. Though he's free to go to take an appeal the case, so that the case will go to court of appeal. So that is the news for today. One love, everybody. Follow my page on Midpipe TV. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. One love.